This is an idea. This is very interesting. A lot of people have been coming in chat and asking about +1s, +2s, and what I'm working towards. And so I wanted to make sure I had something solid to share with people. So I tested Raid Captain with Propulsion level 2 and a cooldown reduction gem and spiral tracker to help with the desync on Raid Captain. Then you need quick pace 5 in that. And then I've also tested Raid Captain with a +2 curse stall. +2 curse stall actually does more damage than Raid Captain +2 propulsion. It's like more pure damage because of the spacebar desync. Propulsion ends up desyncing more because it's only a 4-second buff. I think if Smilegate wanted to do something to help open the propulsion up as a more viable option, propulsion will last for 6 seconds. Propulsion were 6 seconds to line up. Pistoleer's spacebar buff, it would have a lot less desync between the two. And then in learning that Curse Stall is more pure damage than the +2 propulsion, I went ahead and put Raid Captain with +3 Curse Stall and then dropped Adrenaline down to 2. So then Adrenaline is +2 in that scenario, because currently with Adrenaline 3, you run Swiftness on your bracelet. And so see here, I've got 96 Swiftness. You technically could try to shoot for an extra 90 crit. And then you can also, like in this bracelet, I've got Precise, which adds an extra 4% crit on hit. And so overall, if you have an extra like 90 crit plus Precise on your bracelet, you're still hitting self-buffed around 96% total crit, which is great. This allows you to drop down to Adrenaline 2. So the final engraving setup that I'm really thinking is the new +2 meta for Pistoleers is Grudge, Pistoleer, Curse Stall, Raid Captain, Precise Dagger, and then that +2 Adrenaline. And then you're still able to go critical on your Elixirs. So critical 40 is what I'm currently at. The only thing you need to swap out when you're running Raid Captain is the cooldown reduction gem on Spiral Tracker. You want to make sure you get that Spiral Tracker CDR Gem. That way you're avoiding desync. And so overall, I found that this build does the most damage out of the +2s that I've been testing so far. It's not massive, but it is a noticeable difference in terms of total numbers. For Raid Captain with +2 propulsion, I ended up doing 22.2 million DPS. With Raid Captain +2 Curse Stall, I did 23 million DPS. And then with Raid Captain, Curse Stall 3, Adrenaline 2, I did 23.4 million DPS. Again, these are not perfect numbers. It's not perfect examples, but I am seeing that Raid Captain 3, Curse Stall 3, Adrenaline 2, with a slight increase of crit by adding it to the bracelet and removing that swiftness from there is actually more damage versus the alternatives. For this build, you're going to run Desperado with Conviction, bullet time, armor, style change. That's your Conviction. Deathfire, Swift Fingers, Chain Throw, Keen Shot, and then Spiral Tracker is you're gonna put 11 points in this when counters are important. So in thaemine right now, counters are very important. So you need this +4 to get Swift Conviction, so the counter happens right away. That's why you put 11 points here. You can put Bleed in this, Crit Synergy, Quick Pace to increase your movement speed so the Raid Captain gets maxed out, and then Heavy Duty for the 3 stacks. Equilibrium is your Judgment, and you're putting High Speed in that, Decimation, and Vital Point Shot. Your Quick Shot, Swift Fingers, Initiate Shot, Final Light. I put a purple Quick Recharge in this. I put the Legendary Quick Recharge in Cruel Tracker. For Cruel Tracker, you're going Swift Fingers, Rapid Fire Enhancement, and Quick Draw. And then Meteor Stream is Weak Point Detection, Piercing Explosion, and Meteor Fall. You're going to want Legendary Gale Wind in this by default. In situations where Stagger is weak, you could put Overwhelm in this. And then Enforced Execution, this is your counter and also your Flex Rune spot. By default, you want to use Quick Recharge in this, a blue one or the green one, depending on how you're setting this up. Put 4 points in that, get the Swift Conviction so that you get the instant counter. If counters are not important and you're just wanting pure damage, then take the 4 points out of this and put it in Spiral Tracker. The reason why I go with Conviction and Judgment is it actually just overall feels better to me. in terms of helping prevent the initial desync when you do your opening, because no matter what, you're going to get your Conviction and Judgment off and then cast your Meteor Stream, your Cruel Tracker, and Quick Shot within that window. And so you're opening up a really fast follow-up rotation after that. You can also tuck a Desperado in there too, so that you're getting your Desperado up more. Using Conviction and Judgment reliably with Desperado and Equilibrium opens up so many opportunities for you to get more abilities, and then you can also time your Awakening with it. One of the things that I do is I'll notice on one of the charges of Desperado that I have a Conviction, and then I can choose whether or not I want to follow that up with an Equilibrium based on the scenario that is happening. And so you can use it to decide, because no matter what, you're going to get the Judgment proc if you cast Equilibrium on the boss. In terms of Elixirs, you're going to want to go critical for this. Critical is easier to pull off, and it applies after crit and is not affected by diminishing returns on crit damage as a result of that. So you're going to aim for the critical 35 or 40 set, and then the regular best in slot stuff for damage dealers. Came to notice that this build did more damage than all the other builds that I could kind of put together. The very raw damage build. I would say this is like a Chad Pistoleer build, because you're going Cursed All on top of Raid Captain. It's just pure damage. The numbers are more pure, and it's not affected by desync as much when you're running Propulsion. As a result, I think it's a lot more manageable.